My boy Gugu deserved better. Imagine getting a second chance seemingly at your love, and this toddler-speaking boy somehow ends up beating you in romance, and he doesn't even know where he came from. This boy's life is tragic. Like, it's legit sad in this episode, don't get me wrong, from a brother literally betraying you, taking your money so you have to feed yourself a lie that he's going to go get rich someday, and then he'll come back for you. No, that ain't gonna happen. You save the girl that you seemingly are in love with, your face is completely crushed that you now have to walk around in a helmet. Oh, thank God, she seemingly is intrigued by my helmet. No, she's intrigued by Fushi. This man's life is pure pain. And so far with the formula that we've seen, it's pretty much the main characters who have influenced Fushi have ended up dead. What we have here, though, with Gugu is we have literally, this kid looks like he's kind of avoided death in the best possible way. So it'll be interesting to see if this will be another situation where he just simply ends up dead and we move on, Fushi takes his form, or if this will be a character that he'll just naturally part ways with eventually, because you know he can't stick into this being a shopkeeper forever, but he does get to have like a family for a time being, and it'll be interesting to see what will be the parting scene and what ultimately will drive Fushi to move away, and what will be the next form that he takes, right? Watching the first half of this episode, I was absolutely eyes glued to the screen. I wasn't sure why we were watching this, I wasn't sure why we were focusing so much on a character that clearly was brand new to us. Didn't even remember after last week's episode that there was a boy very similar in physique, just with a helmet on. For whatever reason, crossed my mind. That's what happens when you watch episodes week by week, it's easy to gloss over it. So watching this occur, watching the determination in these brothers, and how it felt like, okay, my opinion was that he was taking money and he was going to bet, he was going to gamble, but the whole idea for him was going to be that he was going to win more money than he spent, and then that would be for the brothers. No, the bastard just up and left, and it's pretty heartbreaking. When they introduced the dog, I was like, oh, it's going to be probably a pretty sad story where they're going to starve and he's going to feed the dog over feeding himself. No, it just so happens that the dog ends up being this very rich girl's puppy, and the fact that he was given a ring that, should he sell it, would allow him to never have to sell vegetables in the market again, but instead he holds on to it. It's very clear that's going to be an important plot point. I'm not sure if it's going to get to the point where he needs to actually sell it for money, given the fact that he does have a roof over his head, he has a full belly, and he pretty much has everything he wants, just his actual personal life is ass, and as he says, the only real reason he can kind of continue on is because Fushi is there, and that's pretty sad. So it's going to be interesting to see what the importance of the ring will be, whether it'll be something more personal, like towards this girl, and maybe that will be like a trigger, like, hey, I saved your life, this is what happened to my face, or maybe it'll just be something that does have to get sold down line for different reasons. Maybe they're not making enough money selling the very, you know, it's an acquired taste in terms of alcohol, so that could be a direction, right? I just think To Your Eternity has a great blend of something that feels heartbreaking, but also feels optimistic. The heartbreaking aspect of the first half of this episode is a brother literally robbing who should be the most important person in his life blind, and he's left to pick up the slack. He has to tend to the fields. He also has to sell in the market. And, you know, just when things couldn't get any worse, he literally has his face crushed by a log, and he gets no thanks for it. So, obviously, it was a good deed. He doesn't need to have thanks. It's just, it's unfortunate when you see the end of the episode, because as funny as it is, and how cute it's supposed to be with the blushing with a helmet on, and just the exaggerated, I mean, seriously, like some outlandish cartoon behavior, but it's still sad, right? And it's not like this girl needs to love him or anything. That's not how romance works. The heart wants who the heart wants, right? But, you know, just a little appreciation for nearly giving your life, and kind of did give your life for her, right? So that's going to be interesting, because he seemingly is on a path of working out, and I don't think we're going to get like some time skip where he's going to become like ripped, like he is a part of Luffy's crew or something, but still, it's interesting because they definitely have a really great dynamic going, and it's completely different than all the relationships we've seen. And I think that's something that To Your Eternity is doing exceptionally well, is that it introduces characters and immediately makes them either likable or intriguing. In the case of last week with the Maker, intriguing character, no idea if you're supposed to like or not, dialogue says it's going to be something to stop something bad from happening, but can you really trust it at face value? Hard to say. A character like Gugu, naturally a likable character. Once again, another child character who is just really enjoyable, complete different from March, but still has an equally memorable personality. And the fact that they are just kind of chilling and you know, they all have different plans of what to do. The old man saying, let's chop off some fingers, make some immortal wine. Others saying, let's parade him in the streets. And then, of course, the one person who's sane is saying, this is a gift, we should be happy he's a part of our lives. Let's not make a mockery of him. It's a ragtag team of a family. That's the best way. They are rascals, and it's really enjoyable. Who knows how long this arc is going to last, but I think if this episode is a good indication of where it's going, this is great. I would be perfectly fine if this was 6 episodes of them just playing family and having different things occur. Seemingly, there's 3 parts to the structure of this arc. The first is the brother who abandoned. That's probably going to be touched upon eventually again. We have the question of will his identity be exposed, and then more people target his immortality, and as he also just becomes more human, yet again another character teaching him how to speak and what feelings are, as you also just have the general day-to-day life of a family bond. And that's going to be really fun to see what they plan to do with this, because I mean, from the first half just being this really engaging kind of like backstory setup for Gugu's character, to then the second half of just watching yet again another person try to teach him what it means to live. It's really interesting, and I like how they even touched upon certain things that it's something you might think about while watching, like the fact that his forms are literally, like, he transforms. He's not a normal human. So what happens when he tries to take off his clothing? Well, it, like, literally rips off, like, it kind of reminded me of the symbiote suit in Spider-Man, right? It just kind of, like, stretches out. And it's kind of weird, right? You're thinking, okay, so if he can take it off, that means he can change his general day-to-day clothing, but does he want to do that, right? There's so many different little questions that build an episode into just being so compelling. And personally, it's really hard for me to pick a favorite arc or a favorite character. In the moment, it's easy because you can say, oh, this is my favorite episode, this is my favorite moment. But reflecting, especially in an episode like this that wasn't as explosive, that wasn't as dramatic, it felt to me like I am just looking at all the episodes we've experienced and they feel of equal quality. And that's insane, because there's been some emotional high points, there's been some cute high points, and there's been some slice of life downtime. And this episode kind of has a mixture of all that minus the action, and it feels so good. This series is without a doubt going to be one of the best anime of this year, and I really hope that they stick the landing for the last episode, and should they never pursue a second season, they leave us off in a decent way. But, I mean, if there's more story to tell, which seemingly there is, hopefully this does well enough to warrant a second season. And I think everyone would be a-okay waiting. There was plenty of delays to even get this first season. I think most people would be fine waiting a few years to get a quality second season for sure. Incredible episode, once again, new characters, memorable, impactful, and it doesn't feel like the author is writing random characters to just be random filler characters. Everyone is a person with a personality, and you just hope that this kid gets some sort of happy ending and finds something in his life that's worth living for, other than sort of his little brother that is kind of stealing his girl right now. It's kind of funny and sad all wrapped up into one. Let me know your thoughts and feelings on this incredible episode down below, your favorite moment, and what do you personally think of Gugu as a character? Did he stick the landing for you like he did for me, or did you personally say, you know what, this isn't as good as some of the other characters? Whatever you feel, let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, share your support, and hit that subscribe button if you happen new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.